Hey friends, sorry for the dark. I should be in some light very shortly, but out of the darkness emerges the light. And I have a great deal of emotions right now because for a while, when you are like, let's say in a nutshell, you're different than everybody, and the only thing that gives you life, the only thing that gives you hope, and the only thing that gives you purpose is doing just the simple thing of saying, there's something on my heart and I think I know the truth. And where's the light? I'm coming up to a street light right now. Life is so amazing and beautiful because there are times where I wasn't such a great person in the past, and in my present day I'm haunted by the past. But even just the other day, come on, light, just the other day, it was kind of weird because there was like an area where I was like, where you're driving down the street and you're like, oh, I did the walk of shame right there, last summer. And then, but what's fascinating is the ley lines of life, the ley lines that you evoke. They have purpose. You don't know why sometimes you had the walk of shame in that area. But for my example, I ended up saving somebody in that same area who was tormented by the person who I was, in contact with a year ago. And so it kind of removed me of blaming myself and beating myself up of being, oh, Aaron, why were you that person? You should, if I had been so reserved and so nun-like, like a nun, if I had to be so sanctified in my walk of life, I probably wouldn't have been where I was to actually save someone out of darkness. So I think a lot of times there are people who read me and people who try to channel my life and lifestyle, and I always say, don't do that. Number one, I don't give permission to do that. And number two, my guides, my constituents from the heavens above, they will show you the dark truth of what I emerged from. And people will say, but you're such a nice guy, you're so positive. And it just, I've been placed in different places throughout life because that's just what people had inflicted on my life as a child. And becoming an empath and learning the abilities that empaths do, I didn't realize that's what you have to go through after you accepted your gift. And so you have this bipolar lifestyle where in front of everybody you're trying to show them how beautiful life is and how your journey is moving you forward and nurturing you and you're maturing with it, but at the same token you're going back to dark corners and you're cleaning up everything, if that makes any sense. And when I say dark corners, I don't mean like drugs and alcohol, and even though that was in my history. But a lot of times in those situations, I've saved someone from depression or overdose or people who just wanted validation, as a human being, people crying, needed a hug. Like people, like if you refer to the Bible, it always refers or infers that many will go to places that others won't, and people won't choose that. But it's really not saying, well, today I think I'm gonna go to a bar and get drunk and hopefully I'll save somebody. It really just means that you will catch yourself in the moment of when you're supposed to act. And a lot of times you're just a normal human being with normal feelings and normal urges and normal temptations. That's just the world we live in. Deal with it. But if someone's going to pounce on my comments, and this is the second person who did it, and try to convict me of something, I have nothing to admit, to be honest to you. And adhering to my heart and the messages that I've been receiving, I'm pretty darn well accurate with what I've been delivering. And if any of my energy has inflicted negativity on anybody, that I sincerely apologize. But after watching several videos today of people who are like-minded, people who have different they have different avenues of this work, but it's all the same origin of where we are going. Everything's leading up to something next week, and I'm not certain, but I think if you go back to, I think it was the video where I talked about Fibonacci and light codes and explanation of Mandela effect. It seems as though October 11th seems to be a day where something interesting may occur. This isn't a prediction. Hey, look behind me. You see that? There's a fire truck. There it goes. Oh, I'm so weird. It's still back there. And it just stopped. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. Anyways. Yay me. Sorry for the zoom. So I guess that was our confirmation at 8:20. And now I have to go do a gematria code for 8:20 to figure out what the synchronicity was. If you guys can check out Neo Glimmer, he is a brother of mine. Not literally, but you know, this whole soul journey, I really felt connected to him because he and I had different synchronicities at the same time. And even leading up to his last gematria video, he did it straight up, like how he does it, showed his method of you know, cracking the codes. I'll put it in my description box below. But his gematria code, he received this through someone's email who had a vision about something. Where am I going? I'm driving the wrong direction. But long story short, I had a video about, I forgot what I said, but I think it was about the, was it the Tree of Life hijacked video? I say a lot and I post a lot of videos. I'm sorry about the video diarrhea and the rambling, but you know what? After watching Neo's video that he had just posted about the gematria codes that he received, they align perfectly with what I just rambled about. So if I were anybody who were to be on YouTube to not have videos about anything aspiring, other than your obsession with whatever, ice cream, I don't know, really start paying attention to what people say and stop hearing what you think you hear out of the total message, but listen to your heart and what your heart is resonating with you. And I think that's the example that displayed itself. Someone listened to what their mind was infecting them with, and they just basically mistaken me for the wrong person. But then months ago, somebody tapped into a Palladian mindset and tried to literally read my mind and read my actions daily and try to translate my lifestyle as being a corrupted person, a very sinful person, a very dark, perverted person. And it's like, well, I technically didn't ask for all these, you know, afflictions and different scenarios in life where I have to be purged into the light. But that's just how life works. you just aren't born here in perfection, and you're not just placed here knowing everything. And I think the people who really are at the I would say at the A game of these translations and what's going on are the people who have the most like torment and abuse and like if you really were to read my life, I was a very angry person about 10 years ago and before, because I was always mistreated as a child. I was always bullied, always persecuted, always, I wasn't even out of the closet in middle school and high school, and people inflicted that on me. They really forced me to, they're like, you need to say that you're gay. And it's like, I always knew I was special. I always knew something was different about me. And it wasn't until I saw that video with Neo and his codes that really confirmed with me. I'm getting emotional. It really confirmed to me I have not been off. And a lot of times I have that doubt in back of my head, like, wow, maybe I'm not that great of a person if people are responding this way. Or, if I go into the whole realm of politics and try to like convince people, I literally try to convince people to not think the way that they're thinking. And the resistance is so destructive. It's just such a hard, it is really hard if you can really relate to what I'm saying. Like, I don't think anyone who's really at the most, I don't know how to say it, but I'm gonna conclude it here. Where's the light? I really like to try to show them videos that I'm everybody's homie. I'm like everyone's friend. But we have to pay attention no matter what. I think I put this in my example in the last video. I said, if you were like, let's say, a convicted person, let's say you were a felon, or you were a mafio, or you were not a good person for what you were doing. Is it moral or is it immoral that you still help people? And I think that's the situation we're in, is that people are being convicted right now of being immoral because of what has surrounded the person, but then their heart's intentions are different. So do we walk around and imprison people for the choices they've made for their own particular life, but their experiences are allowing them to step out of their realm in order to attract vibration to other people and to help when I don't know, acting on your heart, it has no I don't think it has any discrimination, acting on your heart.